This is the astonishing story of how this couple came upon their adopted child's past. But before we start, please make sure to subscribe to m&rtv and hit the bell so you never miss any upload from us. Also, leave a like right now. Just like striving to conceive a child of your own, adopting a child comes with its fair share of tremendous concerns, expectations, and surprises. This was unquestionably the case for Canadian couple Ron and Natalie Trecroce, who in 1997 concluded they wanted to bring a child into their home. Their search led them to Arad, Romania, where they met and were enamored with a 1-year-old girl named Rodica Lavinia Farcas. Rodica had some health issues, which sent Ron and Natalie on a journey to find answers about her past, and that's when they made a shocking discovery. Many couples dream of starting their own families, but it's not always an effortless thing to do. Ron and Natalie Trecroce of Canada knew this better than anyone else. Despite some difficulties, they knew they wanted to raise a child on their own. What may come? In 1997, the couple, hoping to find the perfect fit for their little family, traveled to Arad, Romania, a city located on the Mears River in the western part of the country. That's where they first encountered Rodica Lavinia Farcas, who was only 1, yet she already had an enigmatic past. Ron and Natalie immediately recognized that Rodica, with her wide, infectious smile, would be the perfect addition to the family of 2. Regrettably, this wasn't going to be an uncomplicated adoption. Before they could even get started, the couple received some distressing news. Ron and Natalie immediately recognized that Rodica, with her wide, infectious smile, would be the perfect addition to their family of 2. Regrettably, this wasn't going to be an uncomplicated adoption. Before they could even get started, the couple received some distressing news. Although she was just a tiny toddler at the age of 1, Rodica was critically malnourished. She suffered from rachitis and had weak bones from a lack of vitamin D. It was rather evident that she was in need of some immediate help. But the sad reality was, cases like Rodica's weren't uncommon in Romania in the 1990s. The country was under the command of the infamous dictator named Nicolae Ceausescu, who outlawed contraception of any kind throughout the entire country, with catastrophic consequences. With the overflowing abundance of the poor in the country at the time, it meant that a lot of couples conceived children they couldn't afford, and they were forced to give them up. The lucky ones ended up in orphanages. The less fortunate ones died from starvation or were abandoned. Was this development in the country that led to Rodica being dropped off in the orphanage in the first place? Perhaps her mother couldn't provide the care necessary to properly care for her newborn child. Questions dominated this innocent toddler's past, and Natalie and Ron craved answers. Ron and Natalie desired to know everything they could possibly know about their new daughter's unfortunate past. The problem was that it was also particularly hard to get a hold of any documents of any sort on orphans in Romania at the time, and so the investigation began. Natalie and Ron grasped onto every bit of data they could find on Rodica, but without the ease of internet like today, there wasn't much to be found. Then the couple happened upon Rodica's family tree, and they found that the girl's biological mother had actually given away more than 1 child. Actually, somewhere out there, Rodica actually had an older sibling, and a sister no less. Curiously enough though, this sister had been sent to an entirely different orphanage. From then on, Ron and Natalie knew they had to find the other child too. As the saying goes, the more the merrier, and Natalie and Ron must have been firm believers of that. From the moment they acquired the knowledge about Rodica's sister, they were resolved to find and adopt her too. Thorough research led Ron and Natalie finally down to Rodica's older sister, Giannina. They were shocked at the likeness between the sisters. They could have passed off as twins. Without a moment's hesitation, the couple adopted her too, making the Trecroces officially a family of 4. Happily, back home in Canada, with 2 new baby girls, Ron and Natalie made yet another unexpected discovery about the young girl's family tree. They had 6 other siblings. But obviously they wouldn't plan to adopt them too, right? Ron and Natalie drained their means while trying to find those 6 other siblings. But without the help of a paper trail from Romania, it was hopeless. Those siblings still remained a mystery to this day, but maybe that was better for the pair. 8 kids would have been a bit much. Even though they could not track down the rest of the siblings, Ron and Natalie were still happy to complete their dream. They were christened with new names too. Giannina became Sophie and Rodica was now Danielle. But something didn't feel right about the change though. Taking 2 little girls from their home country and then erasing all signs of their heritage and culture was not what Ron and Natalie intended. To mark the girls' history and heritage, they turned Sophie and Danielle's birth names into the girls' new middle names. Sophie and Danielle's story often attracted a lot of intrigue. How often do you hear about a pair of hopeful parents traveling halfway around the world to adopt a pair of sisters separated since birth? In fact, one documentary filmmaker who came to know of their story decided to make a film about it, though it's been lost to time since. Years later, as an adult, when Sophie watched the film, she decided to make a shorter version to share on the internet. She edited the full film into its shorter counterpart, which she uploaded to YouTube, though it has since been taken down, where it reached a huge amount of views. The edited video's success inspired Sophie a lot, so much so that she actually chose to pursue photography. When the time for her to enroll at a university came around, she knew exactly what she wanted to declare as her major. The documentary also inspired Sophie to find out more about her and her sister's past. She planned to take a trip to Romania, and though she would have hoped to find her birth mother, she didn't rely on it. Finding proper documents was still scarce, even after all these years. As for Danielle, she plans to join her sister on her journey to Romania sometime in 2018. In the meantime, she intends to study for her bachelor's degree, and if that wasn't enough, she still lives in the close vicinity of her sibling. When Ron and Natalie had flown to Romania hoping to adopt a child, they didn't know that they'd be coming home with another one, but it was for sure that they wanted a family, and they went to great lengths to make that possible. It was a good thing that Ron and Natalie had the strong constitution to withstand all the trials and afflictions that came when starting a family of their own, especially so because they had to go through the process of adoption of their 2 adorable girls, but they were surely happy that they did.